History is long but very interesting. As a nation that countries of the continent look up to as the giant of Africa, we have been through many phases, including a fratricidal war. Yet, we remain undivided in spite of our diversity. And like every other great story, there are several ways to tell it. Now, I will be doing it with mostly pictures from the surest source. There's no better place to unearth Nigeria's checkered history than the National Museum in Lagos. Right behind me, you can see the inscription there. It's written Nigerian governments yesterday and today. So I'm going to take you into history and bring you to the present. It's already looking interesting. Let's go. This center houses the photos and relics of Nigeria's heroes and leaders, past and present. Stepping in, you instantly teleported back in time. The feeling of nostalgia is overwhelming. Many visitors may experience a brief moment of déjà vu, invoked by the familiarity of the dignified faces that stare back. It's history in vivid black and white. First off, let's talk about the pink elephant in the room. I mean the automobile that sits comfortably in the middle. This bullet-riddled vintage car found its way into Nigeria's Hall of Fame following a tragic incident that broke many hearts on the 13th of February 1976. The then head of state, General Murtala Muhammad, was being driven to his office when he was assassinated by soldiers loyal to Colonel B.S. Dimka, who led the historic coup d'etat. However, before this unforgettable story were many twists and turns that define Nigeria's political history. They are projected according to the timeline which spans over 100 years. The images are categorized in the phases. The colonial layout features Nigeria's first leader, Lord Lugard, and his men. The following set of photos is just a glance away, but realistically speaking, 1914 to 1960 is a lifetime. These faces are Nigeria's favorite heroes, the founding fathers who fought and won our independence in 1960. With Tafawa Balewa as Prime Minister, there was balance with Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, Ahmadu Bello to support the infant state. A step away from this era is a radically different layout of photos. The tide had changed. The period reads January 25, 1966 to July 29, 1966. The country's handlers were soldiers. The first military regime lasted only 6 months. Then you walk along, viewing a long lineup of uninterrupted military governments, headed by General Yakubu Gowon, General Murtala Muhammad, whose car we talked about earlier, and General Olusegun Obasanjo. Then the rebirth of democracy, the Second Republic, that saw the emergence of Alhaji Shehu Shagari. 4 years later, Nigeria experienced another period of military rule, after which the Third Republic produced Chief Olusegun Obasanjo as president. The images stayed with the democratic tone till the final photo of the exhibition, a display of the present administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. You will agree with me that it's quite a tour and worth experiencing. I hope you enjoyed that tour, and on to the next. The relative peace and unity of Nigeria is as a result of sacrifice by some Nigerians who paid the supreme price. Those who survived are also heroes of this country. Nora Tanko Akili, who was in Diringari in Sagapa local government area of Kebbi State, met with a veteran, and he will be telling his story.
Our trip to Maza was a Herculean task, but the task was not in vain, as it was a journey to meet one of the Nigeria's living heroes, Alhaji Arota Kobi, a Second World War veteran. This is Alhaji Muhammadu Arota Kobi in his country home amidst his family in Diringari, Maza ward of Sakaba local government area of Kebbi State. It is about 300 kilometers away from Birnin Kebbi, the state capital. Baba is one of the Nigeria's senior citizens whose contributions to the country cannot be overemphasized. He is a veteran soldier who fought the Second World War as well as the Nigerian Civil War. Although he left the army more than 50 years ago, the reminiscence of the command language still lingers on his mind.
Change magazine, repair to advance. Soldier, single shot payout. Damn.
Yarota Kobi is a centenarian of over 120 years, with 17 children and over 200 grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and only 2 have taken after him in the service of fatherland. The veteran soldier took us through the memory lane.
I joined the military in 1941. I was trained in Enugu B Company, posted to 12 Battalion, and later moved to Ibadan. We were the first set to be sent to Burma together with RSM, Dudusachi, Vladimir Penny, Wadafakai. We fought side by side with the fight. I lost my friend there, Shimfi, by Seme. I saw him dying.
Alhaji Harota Kobi also recounted how he was recalled by the Nigerian army to participate in the Nigerian Civil War. The experience, he said, was a choice between his country and the comfort of his newly established family.
I was given this medal by a European Colonel Stockway. He said I was fearless. Even in Biafra, I was part of the troop that took over Calabar, Akwa Ibom.
After retiring from the service, the veteran soldier was stubborn as the head of his community, a position he held for over 40 years. The years, according to Yarota Kobi, were eventful, as the period saw the transformation of a very remote village to a full-fledged political ward with schools, dispensaries, and potable water. A feat, he said, was recorded through community mobilization and insightful engagement with other stakeholders. This was attested to by some members of the community, describing it as the best thing to have ever happened to the community. Although access indeed in Gedi was tough, but not as tough as 2 major wars Yarota Kobi fought, and the veteran soldier was full of joy with NT's visit, having been remembered from far away after so many years.
For taking us to that remarkable veteran. Moving on, an objective assessment of Nigeria's history will provide evidence of how we have greatly influenced global civilization. As the country celebrates, it's apt to examine unique cultural practices that have not only stood the test of time, but adopted by modernity. Hami Sirogo will now take a look at the military ingenuity of Old Benin Kingdom, which has remained unrivaled.
This is the landscape of Benin from the top of heaven, a magnificent settlement in an eternal rainforest. Benin is an ancient territory that had great influence on world history. It is an undying tale of unique civilization, hitherto unmatched by records. I am having some beautiful reflections, and on closer reflection, I find that Nigeria is a treasure chest of civilization that emanated mostly from ancient empires and ancient kingdoms. I am in Benin, and I have a story to tell about some beautiful civilization that emanated out of this land. That is a triumph of military genius, and that is still giving people perspective on what it is to have defenses. Benin is always in a flux. The ancestors of Benin evolved an equal technology to elevate their people. Today, those great ancestors will turn in their graves at the desecration of their labor. It is the story of the Benin earthwork. The world has never seen a defensive structure so big and so efficient, and right before its time. It was indigenously conceived and with labor provided by engineers who never go to school.
The Benin people call it Iya. It's called city wall and moat. The Benin earthwork is the greatest earthwork ever known to man. They say that it is about 4 to 5 times greater You understand? Longer than the Great Wall of China. And more than 100 times in terms of the material resources that is used, or the material that was moved. More than 100 times greater than the Great Pyramid of Egypt.
This is an aerial perspective of this artwork, a moat and a wall. Thick vegetation could not allow clearer insight of their true nature, but they are a trait, a vast continuous network of earth movement around the old Benin Kingdom. It was first started by Oba Ogwola around 1280 AD as primarily a defense against external aggression at those periods of expansionist wars. They worked. Benin has never been militarily conquered.
It's the greatest survey done by any pre-mechanical civilization because it covers over 200 communities.
Credit is given also to Oba Iwari for his continuing with the earthworks around 1440 AD. He has a different reason for doing so. Oba Iwari is a man of culture. His two sons locked themselves in sibling rivalry. They could not resolve their differences and ultimately died fighting one another. They poisoned themselves. The Oba was inconsolable. He declared 3 years of mourning, during which no man shall come close to his wife, and no child shall be born in Benin. Many of the subjects could not endure. Mass migration started out. To curtail the exodus, Oba Oware ordered the building of moats. At any rate, there are two types of moats in Benin: the inner moat for defenses and the outer moat to cut out migration out of Benin. To date, this artwork has strong values in culture, history, tourism, research, and spiritualism. In fact, it was declared a national monument on 1st of June 1961 by then Federal Department of Antiquities. Eyewitnesses say the artworks were intimidating presences around Benin, a testimony that they survived this generation. The issue today, however, is that this cultural and national treasure is subjected to distortions from different angles.
Up to the 1930s or thereabouts, nobody goes near the moats. But at that time, the Oba still had some power. Since the colonial days started here, your powers are no longer there.
The tragedy of the distortion of this national treasure is made worse by the knowledge that of its over 14,000 kilometer stretch, there is not a single kilometer of its true state anywhere. As a way forward, though, there is a collective action now for reclamation, cooperation, and education.
The moats of Benin City remain a wonder to the rest of the world. Now, next up, the clampdown on a rehabilitation center in Rigasa area of Kaduna State has drawn global attention and condemnation following revelations of dehumanizing experiences suffered by the inmates. Since the rescue operation led by the Commissioner of Police in Kaduna State, most of the inmates have been reunited with their families, while many others ran off on their way to the resettlement camp. Lejama Adamu reports.
A pathetic scenario here. Nearly 400 inmates come under the guise of rehabilitation ended up in chains, pains, hunger, and hopelessness. This young man demanded his name and face kept away from the public. He is a university graduate and was about enrolling for master's degree when, according to him, his uncle in Katsina deceived him and dumped him at the center. Life at the camp, he says, is a test of hell.
They are treated like slaves, not like normal human beings there.
Yusuf Hassan is not only a university graduate but a holder of doctorate degree from Scotland. He was also brought to the camp by his parents.
When you gather children with adults, with criminals in one place, everything happens.
All the rescued inmates interviewed have one thing in common. They were taken to the camp by their parents. They claim no knowledge of why they were taken to the center, although some of them confessed to smoking cigarettes and Indian hemp. We reached out to the parents. Some of them believe the rehabilitation center was a blessing, not a curse to their community. Mala Umar Liman, a pensioner and an imam in Rigasa, says he personally took 3 of his children to the center, one of them in chains.
We were even praying for the death of the child because of his addiction to drugs and the troubles he has been causing.
This little Ahmad Aliu is one of the 3. On his back were scars that tell a dehumanizing story of life in the camp. In her case, Salma Muhammad, a parent and a neighbor to the camp, says one of the inmates had threatened to kill his own mother before he was caught and kept at the camp. She now asks, how could such a mother live with same child?
The need to objectively investigate the allegations. Out of desperation, this boys would allege anything.
The families of those that heard have been coming, but we did not start reuniting them with the family until we did proper documentation, because we need to actually understand if they are their parents. We don't want a situation whereby somebody can take this advantage and come and take somebody's child. So far we have reunited about 140 of them with their families.
Our investigation revealed that besides the nearly 400 inmates at the rehabilitation center, there are over 1,000 students undergoing normal Islamic education in addition to adults undergoing Arabic proficiency and Islamic education. We asked them about allegations of molestation and sexual abuse in the camp, to which they say most of the inmates were brought in with injuries made on them due to the alleged criminal indulgence in their various communities. They demand for justice from the government through thorough and objective investigation of the matter.
And commendation must go to the police for the crackdown. Please don't go away. Newsline returns shortly. Thank you for staying with us. Whenever a fundraising event is organized, what readily comes to mind is money. While this is not out of place, what is important, however, is the execution of the projects for which the money was raised. This point was put forward by the Minister of the FCT, Muhammadu Musa Bello, when he represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the fundraising ceremony for the establishment of Sheikh Sharif Ibrahim Islamic Center, Abuja. Abdullahi Musa Suleja brings details.
That signifies the unveiling of the prototype of the gigantic Islamic center initiated by a renowned Islamic scholar, Sheikh Sharif Ibrahim Saleh. The project, to be located in the nation's capital, Abuja, is to serve as the first Islamic center in the sub-Saharan Africa, and a center of excellence for research and learning with a view to promoting Islamic scholarship and peaceful coexistence. The building, when completed, will bring together jurists and other scholars who share common ethics and faith. It will also ensure the preservation of great old works, and the mosque in the center will accommodate over 1,000 worshippers at a time.
A center that will serve those who are concerned with the promotion of research and studies in Islam and promoting unity amongst the Muslim Ummah all over the world. This center, when completed, will also promote a better understanding of contemporary challenges and how to face such challenges in these very difficult times.
The FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello, who represented the President, believed the building will be a center of unification for scholars and every Muslim in the Ummah.
Our country has been fighting insurgency in the northeast, characterized by a dangerous ideology that is not only un-Islamic in outlook, form and character, but also foreign and very strange to us. Our religious centers and scholars will do well to evolve ways and means to re-educate and reorient our vulnerable youth who might be tempted to align with the insurgents.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, said the responsibility of all is to ensure that the project does not waste.
Being a board of trustee member of Oxford Center for Islamic Studies in UK, an independent center of Oxford University, and I would like to see this center work in the same way that Oxford Center is working now.
The chief launcher, Chairman Bua Group of Companies, Alhaji Abdul Samad Ishaq Rabiu, set the ball rolling.
This calls for our support. I would like to make a total contribution of 500 million naira. Another special contribution, special in the sense that the relationship between Sheikh Sharif Ibrahim Saleh, my late father Khalifa, was a very, very important one on behalf of Khalifa, because I know he would love that. The sum of 50 million naira.
The personality, Sheikh Sharif Ibrahim Saleh, the promoter of the center, whose contribution to Islamic education, especially jurisprudence and legal studies, is acknowledged globally, established over 300 books and more than 100 academic papers of note, with students spread all over Africa and beyond. He expressed hope that every believer of the course will ensure that the center gives its best to the propagation of Islam and the unity of the Ummah.
Elsewhere, the alumni of the Department of English and Literature of the University of Benin recently returned to their institution to support it. The homecoming, which coincided with the 42nd anniversary of the department, was chaired by Taye Ige, a 1996 graduate of the department. Ivie Omoriyi witnessed the event.
The reunion is inspired by determination to improve the department and its teaching standards.
This event also encourages our students to aspire to greater heights. Your presence here tells a story of purpose, determination, hard work, and achievement to our students.
Taye Ige, President and CEO of HS Media Group, producers of Hot Sports Weekly television program, among other properties, and an existing benefactor of the department, sets the tone.
We will require no less than a 30 kVA diesel generator. If it's accepted to the leadership of the department, in only a matter of days from now, a brand new one will be supplied.
The sports marketing specialist also offers automatic employment at HS Media Group for the best graduating student of the department.
I offer to continue the sponsorship of the Romanes Egudru Journal of English Literature Regis, which I started years ago in the department. I also wish to resuscitate and in fact significantly enhance an annual scholarship scheme which I started in the department and which ran successfully up to a couple of years ago. The best students in 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, and 400 level would have earned for themselves sums of 100,000 naira, 200,000 naira, 300,000 naira, and 400,000 naira respectively.
Distinguished alumni and others who had supported the department over the years are honored. And what would a homecoming be without performances that invoke nostalgic feelings? Current students of the English and Literature department served this appropriately. The Department of English and Literature is one of the 6 departments of the Faculty of Arts of the University of Benin.
Noble gesture by the alumni. It's great to give back. Like the proverbial mustard seed, it started as an idea mooted in one small room in Calabar 10 years ago with no hope of survival. But today, Verve, a leading payment technology in Nigeria and Africa, has evolved to become a world-class brand. This is why the company gathered stakeholders, friends and the media to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Verve in Lagos. Ken Egbeluge tells us more.
Stowed away again. Taught herself to spin strength from struggle. She picked up the scrubbing brush at the local school. Every night she would scrub the floors with precision. Every night she would scrub till they gleamed like mirrors.
The spoken words heralding the 10th anniversary of Verve Card. From a humble beginning created to eliminate the burden of cash payment settlement in Nigeria and Africa, Verve Classic has blossomed to become a global brand accepted in 185 countries, including the United States of America, United Kingdom, and Dubai.
The market is made up of a lot of youths. More than 60% of our population are youths. And as youths, there are certain kind of technology that they adopt. they adopt mobile, they adopt the internet a lot. So if you want to be relevant, and if you want to play this digital space, creating a digital version of your product becomes something very, very critical. So things like VEF Pay Code, VEF Cash, and so on and so forth are innovations that we are using to go after the opportunities we have seen in the marketplace.
Chief Executive Officer, VEF International, Mike Ogbalu III says VEF has been reinventing the payment industry landscape and providing Nigerians with seamless payment exchange options.
Today our solutions can be used on ATMs, on POS, on web, mobile. We also have QR payments which we are actually making a bet on. We believe that that will be a significant part of the future of payments. And we think that in the future today, what you have is you and I doing transactions. We see a future where it won't just be you and I transacting, it will be things. Your car should be able to order a service by itself using an embedded VEF token and make payment and be able to order the service. Your fridge should be able to order groceries when it is running low. That is what they call Internet of Things. So VEF has designed products that will actually help us to get into that future of payments that we already envisage.
Today, people can transact using physical plastics. They can still do what we call our cardless ecosystem transactions. So you can generate codes from your mobile phones and still transact on multiple channels.
The company says it will continue to initiate innovative products that will add value to the lives of its customers across the world.
We are encouraging Nigerians that even as they use our products, they can rest very, very much assured, knowing that they are using the best technology in the world and the safest of those technologies.
Happy anniversary to VEF. The Pan-African Challenge TV show Motivator is back. The first episode of Season 2, which promises a lot of fun and excitement, was premiered at the 4DX screen Silverbird Galleria, Ikeja, Lagos. Adiola Mokivie reports that Malta Guinness is the sponsor of the TV show.
Months after heightened expectations, lovers of action-packed and super exciting Motivator Challenge will be glued to their TV screens to watch the keenly contested competition among 5 African countries.
You motivated? Yeah! Alright, so let's go! Team Ethiopia and Team Nigeria are off to an impressive start. Ethiopia is slightly ahead, but Nigeria is hot on its heels. We love the speed and the determination. Wow, it's going to be close. Come on, Team Nigeria. Let's go, Ethiopia. Ethiopia got the flag, but it's not over yet. Team Nigeria is determined. Let's go.
30 Motivators from Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire and Ethiopia will be slugging it out for 8 weeks to win the grand prize of $20,000. And the 6 Nigerian contestants are having the full support of Malta Guinness.
So Malta Guinness is available in over 13 countries across Africa. Basically, this is the way Malta Guinness is bringing to life its brand purpose, which exists to fuel the candle spirit of Nigerians and, of course, Africans as a whole. Malta Guinness' goodness, vitality and energy has been fueling the greatness of Africans for over 30 years now.
Viewers of the premiere who were treated to the good taste of Malta Guinness are eager to witness the assortment of physically and mentally challenging games and obstacles filled with intrigue, suspense, twists and turns.
So bringing a show that has to do with energy and vitality, I think is a really good idea.
You have majority the youth segment, and so it's a brilliant way to engage them, to help them express their energy. It's a fun way as well.
The Motivator Challenge Season 2 will be aired for 8 weeks on the network service of the NTA every Wednesday between 6:30 and 7 p.m. It will be on Silverbird Tuesdays from 6 to 6:30 p.m. and on the MTV base on Saturdays between 4 and 4:30 p.m. Africa's best premium malt drink packed with vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5 and B6 has been fueling the greatness of Africans and inspiring them to live life to the fullest.
Indeed, season 2 looks really exciting. On to the next. It's not common sight to see military men celebrate events in Mufti. This is because, apart from regular uniforms and the fatigues they adorn for war, they have ceremonial outfits. So it was a sight to treasure when members of the 36th Regular Corps of the Nigerian Army appeared like civilians at a reunion dinner in Abuja. Monso Damian Dati captured the high moments.
Handshakes, pats on the back, big hugs, and rumbling laughter are the reactions visible here. These old students of the Nigerian Defense Academy are reuniting in an atmosphere of relaxation, beauty, and elegance. Accompanied by their spouses, makes it a complete and glamorous dinner to cherish for years to come. You may wonder why the excitement and rib-cracking jokes. Oh wow, they're catching up on lost time. It's been 35 long years since they were all gathered in one vicinity as young undergraduates of the Nigerian Defense Academy.
At this course, is it going to rain? I didn't say yes, sir.
This is a course that have many things that we can talk about.
It's a wonderful opportunity. Seeing people I've not seen for the past 35 years, it's just a wonderful experience.
I thank God that we've been able to weather this storm, and today we are back together celebrating some of our successes and remembering those of us that are no longer with us.
It is an event that we should be proud of and that should be emulated by other causes. As a cause, whether we are retired or still serving, we still see ourselves as one body.
Today, they are fathers, grandfathers, and successful officers in the Army, Air Force, and Navy.
It was my duty to inculcate discipline into their heads. It was my duty to groom them, to change their life.
We had one of them who is in the Air Force, who made first class in physics. They were very hard working.
Combine half of their time military, half of their time academics. So for you to be able to adjust and able to pass, it means you were a man, a person of high caliber.
For the spouses, they say marrying military men is the best thing that has happened in their lives.
Military men are the best. They know how to take care of their wife, they know how to take care of their family. You know, the training makes them ready for every eventuality.
So if you have not married to one, you are missing out. But leave our husbands alone, look for singles.
Our husbands bonded us together. So we come together regularly, we meet, we interact, we help one another.
Life outside a regimented environment seems to be exciting for these senior officers.
Thank you very much.
The essence is captured here. Is the cutting of this reunion cake.
6 regular course, and there we go. A round of applause. Can we have a wonderful fanfare?
And presentation of gifts to old and pioneer lecturers of the NDA, as well as recognition of wives of heroes who paid the supreme price.
Mrs. Dorothy Kolawole, wife of Commander F.A. Kolawole, on the ABT-18 aircraft. A round of applause. Thank you.
A toast in place to celebrate their success.
That the Nigerian military will continue to be a uniting force for this country.
And the clinging of glasses, a salute to Cause 36.
Actually look less intimidating in Mufti. Nice to see. Let's take another commercial break. I'll be back with more reports. Amid daunting obstacles and challenges of life, the first visually impaired educationist rose through the academic ladder to realize his dream. Professor Jibrin Issa Deso is the first visually impaired Nigerian to achieve this feat. Hadiza Mohammed will now share her encounter with this special education professor of Bayero University, Kano.
The success story of Professor Isu is best described as the typical example of ability in disability. Born partially blind in 1957 in Isu quarters of Kano State, Jibril Issa Isu still has vivid memory of himself riding bicycle in company of other children before he gradually lost his sight completely due to congenital cataract.
My father was scouting for a place where I could go and further my education. Then he heard about one school at Plateau State, that is to say, Gendry Special Education School.
Although this is not a highly unusual scenario, what sets the blind professor apart from other visually impaired?
It's a matter of determination. If one is determined, actually there's nothing difficult for him to do. The way I do my lectures, most of my teachings is on lecture methods. I sit down in the front of my students and lecture them. If there is any word I have said that is not clear or some people cannot spell it, I used to touch my braille copy and then spell out the word. Or else, I ask one of the students in the class to come and write them, because I sometimes go with my braille copy and a printed copy of the lecture. In fact, when I went to England, I found that many visually impaired are lecturing.
Professor Isu is at home in his environment, working around his neighborhood and the university environment with little help.
I found him to be very, very brilliant. And in fact, I can say that it was his admission which became the stepping stone for establishing this department.
He has been doing well and he has been performing his activities, both primary and ad hoc activities, without any difficulties.
I was really impressed the way I saw him teaching us.
To many, he is an outstanding figure and source of inspiration to those around him and other physically challenged.
I'm happy because my father is gifted.
You meet me in my place, in our own quarters. Any person can face some different challenges.
If given the opportunity to see again for just a moment, the intellectual said he would love to see the beauty of God's creation.
Well, I would like to, see things around the world and see beauties like you people have been seeing. There are some beauty things, especially I love to sit in the garden where I'll be seeing hedges around, flowering and all these kind of things.
Having lived a fulfilling and rewarding life, Professor Isu hopes to inspire more physically challenged and free them from the constraints society.
Hadiza, thanks for sharing Professor Diso's story with us. A few weeks ago, it was reported that 36 cows died after being struck by thunder on a sacred hill in Ijare, Ondo State. Now, the update is that the carcasses have not been evacuated. There are concerns in many quarters that the presence of the dead animals could lead to an epidemic. Olajide Bello reports.
Ijare, a peaceful agrarian community, lies about 20 kilometers from Akure, the Ondo State capital. Ijare is noted for its large production of kola nut, but made famous by its towering mountainous granite formations. Many of them are classified as fortresses and highly revered.
There are other deities too, like the one at Owa, where the recent incident occurred.
Saturday, September 21st, was like a normal day, calm and peaceful, until midnight when the earth opened up with a downpour laced with menacing thunder and lightning. Residents say it was indeed scary. By the break of dawn, disaster had struck. 36 fat cows lay dead on one of the sacred hills called Okeowa.
Owa Hill is a very sacred place. Nobody goes there except the Oba, and even the Oba only goes there yearly with the initiates, which the Yoruba people will call Alaworo. Nobody is allowed to go to that hill for whatever reason.
Since then, the sacred Okeowa has become a tourist center of some sort. At the top of the mountain lies near decomposing carcasses of cows.
In Yoruba land, it is a notorious fact that anything killed by thunderstorm, Chongo, nobody touches it, nobody eats from it. It is the Chongo worshippers that will come and do the normal rituals.
This is now a major source of worry as environmental activists and medical experts warn that danger looms if the animals are not properly disposed.
Before you know it, you can have some pathogens even coming out, and this could lead to so many diseases.
And in swift reaction, the Ondo State Ministry of Health, in collaboration with environmental sanitation workers, stormed the hill to fumigate the dead animals.
Because of the nature of the hill here, there's no room to bury the animal, so that's why we use those chemicals. It will make the animal to shrink together, to compass together. You know, there is liability of flies coming to lay eggs on the body. This chemical will prevent any fly from laying eggs into the animal for further decomposition.
We are linking with the people there. We are also interacting with the Fulani leaders, the herders and their leaders, to ensure that they tuck it into the consciousness of their people, not to envisage or take any step that could cause any breakdown of law and order as a result of this incident.
With that assurance from the police, the people of Ijare can now put the ugly incident behind them.
Authorities have swung into action and everything will be fine. Let's take our last commercial break on Newsline. Please stay with us. What would be your reaction when you are faced with the hurdle of crossing a 1-kilometer lake and you have 1 hour left to get to your destination after spending 8 hours on road? This was the experience of some staff of NT International who were delegated to attend the burial of the spouse of one of their colleagues. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday was on the trip and brought back this report.
Ugota local government area is one of the 27 local government areas in Imo State, and it is a few kilometers away from River State's South Nigeria. That was not our destination, but it is the point when reality was done on us. We had to cross the Oguta Lake or go through a much longer route to access our destination, Omoku, in River State. Oguta 1 and Oguta 2 are separated by approximately 1 kilometer, and it takes about 20 minutes to cross the Oguta Blue Lake via the pontoon. But some of the residents are calling on the federal government to look at how to create or design and construct a bridge.
The volume of traffic that passes through here is so much. Although there is proposal to build a bridge somewhere where the river is shallower. You know, this place is very deep. So I started the project. I don't know why they abandoned it.
Different strokes for different folks. I have with me the captain. Will you want a bridge constructed here?
No, Captain, no.
Why?
Because that is where I get my source of income from. That's where my source of income comes from. So if they construct a bridge, I will not make money again.
So, like, how much do you make a day?
10,000 every day.
I'm a full-time diver.
Azubike Uzowie, a historian and chief diver, took me to the second ramp of the lake. This pontoon is owned by the federal government of Nigeria, and operators said in August 2019, the pontoon capsized and a lot of goods were damaged, lost. But Azubike Ukewie is one of the divers on that fateful day.
Exactly, that was really what happened. But luckily enough, we safeguarded the ones we could be able to. So in the real sense of it, the pontoon is still even lying low, and nothing has been happening, and people are still getting stranded.
A major challenge on the barge is the lack of life jackets for passengers in case of any mishap.
And we have been going right inside the water, bringing up people, securing people. Even with their life jackets, I'm a professional in that field.
After minutes of reflection, we made up our minds to cross the lake. Amidat Aregbe, like most of us on the barge, popularly known as pontoon, is a first-timer.
And I'm kind of nervous. Yes, I'm a little bit scared. But it's quite comfortable standing here.
Finally, we arrived on Omoku. After our mission and having enjoyed a smooth ride to Omoku, we decided to return via the same routes. This time, more comfortability, relishing the ambience, serenity, calmness, and peace of the famous Oguta Green Lake.
Obviously had a fabulous time, and that's our package tonight. Thanks for staying till the end. Let's do this again Sunday next week, and good night and God bless Nigeria. We now go back to join the interdenominational service in Ebonyi.